Boy.
So here's how Group E is looking. It is a 3-point lead for Spain over Turkey, who they face in their final match day on Tuesday. It means it will all go down to Tuesday to find out when direct qualification will be determined. But as it stands right now, it is very much in Spain's hands. As we welcome in Julien Laurens, lovely setting for Jules today, as you can see in his little chateau in France by the looks of it.
The tea party's over and we're preparing for the pre-dinner Bordeaux.
Meanwhile, Jules, Spain looking pretty good, even without Lamine Yamal.
Yeah, without Lamine Yamal, without Nico Williams, without Pedri, without a few more, and yet the collective is still so strong, isn't it? The Zubimendi goal is a wonderful team goal. The pass from Fabian at the end and the finish for Zubimendi, who plays in the number 9 position on that move to show you the movement and the rotation within those starting 11 is pretty remarkable. It's almost like if, okay, Lamine is a bit different, but you can take one out and just put somebody else. The structure is still so good, so well drilled that you don't really see much of a difference. Georgia were not great, and now, I mean, unless something incredible happens, and Turkey would have to win 7-0 against Spain on Tuesday, which is not going to happen. Spain are into the World Cup.
When it comes to the World Cup, will it come down to whether they have Lamine Yamal or not, how far they'll go?
Well, it's certainly going to help. It makes them, I think, a significantly better team. But to Jules' point is what you're finding from Spain is that what's really impressive when you think about Luis de la Fuente and this team is that Luis de la Fuente, I don't think he has had his preferred best 11 throughout this World Cup qualifying cycle, consistently out on the field. If Lamine is missing, maybe Nico Williams is missing, now Pedri is missing, and if Pedri is in, then somebody else is missing. It feels like he still hasn't had what he would think would be his best 11 out there, and yet this is a team that has gone through this World Cup qualifying cycle, whatever you may think of the group, whatever you may think of the strength of the teams that they're playing against. You see the 19-goal differential there, the plus 19? It's plus 19 because they scored 19 and they haven't given up any. Now, we think of Spain, of course, as a team that keeps possession of the ball, that creates chances, that it's going to score goals. But defensively, you think that there may be some issues there. That hasn't been the case, at least not in this World Cup qualifying cycle. So it shows you that they're more than Lamine Yamal. But, of course, having Lamine Yamal on the field takes them from one of the favorites to one of the teams that are in the conversation to the very elite, to the very top. And you also look at the other teams that are considered historically to be among the favorites, and you're thinking, Germany, they're not that impressive. Brazil, haven't been all that impressive. You're thinking that Argentina will be there, you think that France will be there, but even France has had their issues, and so you start thinking about teams that are really contenders to win this whole thing, and Spain has to be among the very top and among the very best.
Do you think this whole club versus country argument that we're seeing with Lamine Yamal and Barcelona and Spain will cause any problems along the way here, Shaka?
I don't anticipate that at all. Listen, my own experience is a clear separation of duties when you're playing with your club and when you're playing with your country. You can have arguments, all sorts that happens at club level, but I think is easily dismissed at international level. I don't expect it, especially given what we're talking about, a World Cup. I don't expect there to be any kind of animosity within that squad, any kind of overlap.
Do you think it... Go on, Ale.
I was just going to... Because I think this conversation is going to go in a different direction. But before we move on, it's just... Lamine Yamal missing. Nico Williams missing. And I know he's not the star player, and I know that he's not the guy that is going to attract a lot of attention. But I got to give a shout out to Mikel Oyarzabal. And the only reason I do that is because while your line of question is Lamine Yamal, and of course that makes sense. And of course Lamine Yamal and his relationship with Barcelona and the national team, that grabs attention, that grabs headlines. The consistent performer for this team in the front line has been Mikel Oyarzabal. And he's not an out-and-out striker, but he's playing like it with Spain, scoring goals consistently for this national team. Hold up play, little touches here, little touches there that kind of keep everything together in the final third. He has been critical to the success. And if we're thinking about Spain winning a World Cup, we'll focus on Lamine Yamal, we'll focus on Nico Williams, we'll focus on Pedri. They're going to need that productivity from that position, and they're getting it from Mikel Oyarzabal. 100%.
So Belgium clinch a top 2 spot at least via this draw, but they must wait until Tuesday now to determine their direct qualification. They meet Liechtenstein on Tuesday, who have 0 points so far. Just the win to ensure that things will be okay. A draw would likely be enough as well. North Macedonia will be away to Wales on Tuesday. If they win and Belgium lose, it will be them who go through. But as it stands right now, it's very much looking like it's Belgium, Jules.
Yeah, it should be, although it doesn't take anything away from how bad they were today in that first half, especially. In the second half, they had enough chances. We saw the last one from Raskin, but we could have showed you a few more. They should have won that game. But yet, their first half was horrendous, really. And it's not the first time that Rudi Garcia has struggled a little bit with his team. And today, you look at that starting lineup. Of course, there's no Kevin De Bruyne. Of course, there's no Romelu Lukaku. They are missing players. And certainly, the likes of Doku or Trossard, De Ketelaere should have done more. But it was a poor first half. And the consistency is lacking so much since Rudi Garcia took over. Really, they're going to beat Liechtenstein at home and they're going to qualify and top their group. Okay, and the interesting game really is the Wales against North Macedonia for that playoff spot, and who finishing second. Really, that's the only thing in this group that is still at stake, because there's no way Belgium are going to drop points against Liechtenstein. However, I think the debate here is the kind of work that Garcia is doing with his team. Where is his team at really 6 months before the World Cup, a little bit more than 6 months before the World Cup? Can they be outsider? Can they even reach the last 8 of that tournament? Looking at them again today, I just thought that first half was unacceptable how bad it was.
Me too.
And so this is how things look in Group C right now. Denmark are 1 point ahead of Scotland, and they play each other next to see who qualifies in Hampden. It's all going to come down to that game, Jules. Scotland have the home advantage.
Yeah, they will have that, but they're a point behind, as we've just seen on the schedule, and you wonder how, because on the game today, they should have never not won that game. Really, it's incredible all the chances that they had and how many times they just could not find the back of the net. It's just, I mean, if they do miss out and they only draw, let's say, with Denmark, for example, and finish second and have to go through the playoffs and not make it to the World Cup, it would be such a waste, because they had so much opportunities, not just today on this game against Greece, but through the whole qualifiers in this group, opportunities to get more points and to be now in this position where they could actually have more than Denmark is crazy. And Belarus, we never thought that Denmark would drop points against Belarus, and to be fair, they were cruising in that game until they switched off for 2 minutes, conceded the 2 goals that we saw on the highlights, and then came back, but just to salvage the points. But I don't think in Scotland they even believed that Denmark could drop points against Belarus. So that was their chance, and yet when they had to do the job, they could not do it, or they didn't do it.
That's going to be some atmosphere in this next game.
Absolutely will. Given everything at stake for Scotland at home, must-win game, I think it'll be a great opportunity. It'll be a great game to be at. Just kind of given everything at stake. You're
Stevie
right.
and Craig aren't here. Are they going to do it?
Yes, they will. I'm saying that generally not just to appease Craig and Stevie.
Well, can you not take the role of Stevie and?
I would kind of be negative.
Yes.
Well, you know, I think we'll have to wait to see how this game goes. A lot could happen with these Danes, you know.
They're probably not going to do it.
Yeah. Winning the body deodorant of. What was it?
Winning is the deodorant that masks.
Right. All that. Something like that, Stevie says.
The smell and the trouble behind the scenes. Something along those lines.
Nobody can mask.
Yeah, that's the
Stevie's smell.
that's the only sensible thing Stevie's ever said.
Denmark or Scotland? Who have you got, LA?
I'm going to take Denmark, because why not?
Because why not?
Because why not?
Why not? Why not?
I'm taking Scotland.
Well,
I am.
yeah, you know, but you're playing to Stevie.
Okay.
Well, unlucky, Graham.
So that's how things are looking here in Group B as it stands right now. Sweden, though, that's where I want to talk. Look at this. Just a point there. Okay, let's first of all talk about Switzerland. Almost there, Jules. Pretty much there, Jules.
Yeah, it's a good win for them and for Yakin, who at times had been under pressure a little bit because the results haven't been, certainly the performances haven't been that great with what is a great squad in terms of the old generation is still there very much. The Rodriguez and the Chakas, this is the last World Cup, this is the last dance, all that kind of narrative, great. And the youngsters are really good. The Endoys, the Vargas that you see there on the starting lineup, on the graphics that we have. And even more coming off the bench, like Monzombi, who's obviously great, and even somebody like Okafor at Leeds, who's not being called up, but is very much in the conversation still. So you've got something great there in Switzerland. They've got experience, they've got youth, they've got a bit of everything, and yet it seems that it's not completely clicking for Yakin. So good win today, because Kosovo also won behind. So if Switzerland had dropped points tonight, it would have been a bit tense before the last game next week. But now they're pretty much through. And I don't know, there's something that tells me that I would not want to face them at the World Cup.
No, but usually we talk about a team like Sweden, Jules, and they're often a team that you say, I don't want to face Sweden. I don't want to face Sweden if it comes to qualifying. This is a tough team to come up against. And they have underwhelmed in this qualifying campaign.
Yeah, it's been a disaster for them. I mean, Jonathan Thomasson obviously was sacked halfway through, more than halfway through, because of the bad results and the bad performances again. When you think that you can have Isak and Gyökeres in your team, just to mention your front two, and the rest is pretty good as well, to be fair. It's not as good as the Norwegian squad, but it's not that far, it's not that bad. And yet you can't score for your lives, you can't get a win even. That's how bad things were in a group that is not the group of death either, really, if you think about it and if you look into it. So Thomasson had to go, really, and then Graham Potter has just arrived, first game in charge today. We saw again defensively a lot of mistakes being made. There's a lot of work to do with this generation, but they still have a chance to qualify through the Nations League, so it's not completely over for Potter, but certainly this qualifier group was an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, Shaka, you've got a lot to answer for, you know. Isak's in this team.
No.
Jan's been delighting in it, that Norway have got their striker and are doing so well with it. Though there is a lot of attacking prowess here at Sweden.
He deserted Newcastle. All his issues are his own making.
He might have deserted Sweden here as well.
Well, if you're gonna go ahead and desert, just go whole hog with it. Listen, to see Sweden struggling this way, I'm as surprised as anybody. But again, they have their issues. Whether Potter's demand to fix them, I guess time will tell. They, like Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela, have got 4 years to think about this.
Yeah.
Very comfortable. In a
comfortable
couch.
Yeah, yep.
Comfortable couch. Yeah. These guys can definitely sympathise.
Oh, well.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be sitting on that couch comfortably.
Comfortably, not worrying. Neutrals throughout the World Cup. just what they hoped for. They didn't want to be getting involved.
Right.
They wanted just to chill.
I wanted to do my job
ahead.
fully without worrying about anybody else.
Absolutely. Okay. We need to touch on Group H because we also saw games played there today. This is how things are looking right now. Austria beat Cyprus 2-0. We also got to see Bosnia-Herzegovina beating Romania 3-1 as well. No one fully qualified from this group just yet.